bitch. Turned the whole world into a savage. Middle finger and all of my bitches just to remind y'all I ain't having it. I'm the baddest bitch. You wanna fight a body, put them in the booth. I bet I take the title. All of these hoes my shit. Mary had a little lamb, they was talking about me. Hey, switch side to I switch back. Lot of IOUs ain't getting back. Lot of shit I should've walked away from, but the hood bitch Jimmy kept pulling me back. Wish I would let her run my business. Hey, quit asking about these niggas. Look, you don't wanna sip this tea. If I give you the dick, you might get in your business. Tell her, hater, fuck you. They keep coming and telling me these bitches mad. What's new? All this ice around my neck got me feeling too cool. We was banging and he beat that pussy red. Woo, middle finger out the roof. Tell her, hater, fuck you. They keep coming and telling me these bitches mad. What's new? All this ice around my neck got me feeling too cool. We was banging and he beat that pussy red. Woo, middle finger out the roof. Pull up Bentley, drop on 50 to make my car match with my feelings. Y'all be hating, I'm riding with Ferris to make sure none of y'all hoes come near me. Bitch, stop capping, that shit ain't exclusive. Y'all in the A buying shit from them boosters. I heard y'all niggas ain't buying the chain, just taking them pics and it back to the jeweler. Had one D, bought 2 C's. In my purse, I keep some G's. Hope it's talking about me to your niggas. That only make him more intrigued. Bitch, you a bum, don't get a crumb. How you got cake and ain't fucking for none? How bet I ever catch you talking shit if your bank account to the touch of your mom? Tell her, hater, fuck you. They keep coming and telling me these bitches mad. What's new? All this ice around my neck got me feeling too cool. We was banging and he beat that pussy red. Woo, middle finger out the roof. Tell her, hater, fuck you. They keep coming and telling me these bitches mad. What's new? All this ice around my neck got me feeling too cool. We was banging and he beat that pussy red. Woo, middle finger out the roof. These niggas love me cause I'm like that freaky, nasty. Fight me, I fight back. Ay, if I want a nigga gone, then he gone. I'm a real street bitch, so you know I can't type that. Ay, these hoes be thinking they me to the people wanna see it, they really gotta show up. Ay, hang around niggas say make me, you gon' fuck a whole lot of dick tryna blow up. Ay, I'm finna get mean in this bitch. Ay, they think I'm weak in this bitch. Ay, instead of me teaching these hoes, I probably should've been reading the bitch. Ay, I'm 100 not 50. Ay, weak niggas never give me. Ay, pussy niggas on the internet talking about some pussy they ain't getting. Yeah, tell her, hater, fuck you. They keep coming and telling me these bitches mad. What's new? All this ice around my neck got me feeling too cool. We was banging and he beat that pussy red. Whoa, middle finger out the roof.
What's going on, y'all? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Who we got up in here this morning? Nettie Boo. Good morning. Good morning, Nettie Boo. Indigo, what's going on? Let me see here. Lady Eugenia, what's going on? What's going on? As y'all come in, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button as y'all come in. It's 6:30 and I got you cleaning up. That's what's up, West Coast Bellas. I'm glad I got you up and moving this morning. We're going to let a few more people get up in here, y'all, and then we are going to get this commentary started. Man, listen. So, some very interesting information has been brought to my attention this morning. That some things I can share with you all. I want y'all to understand very clearly that it is a difference in sitting in a overflow room watching the trial on a TV screen, and there's a difference in being in the actual courthouse in front of the actual trial and being able to watch and see the movements of everyone, the true emotion inside the courtroom where the camera is not pointing. The title of this video is Stay Tuned. Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the nuclear bomb. I need people to understand very clearly that we haven't got to the evidence yet. Okay? In a court of law, it is a known fact that it's not about what you say, it's about what you can prove. It's not about what you say, it's about what you can prove. And I need y'all to understand and just remember, the evidence is not out yet. Yes, there were lies told. Okay? I personally, and I'm going to be honest with y'all, I have never met a human being in my life yet, other probably than Jesus, which I haven't met him personally, but I know him. I don't know a human being that doesn't lie. I don't know a human being that hasn't told a half truth in order to try to get ahead or try to get an advantage on a situation. I don't know one. Maybe y'all do. Like if you know anybody out there who has never told a lie or never not put some information on a job application that really wanted to get a job, that where they didn't talk about how they were picked up at 5 years old for shoplifting from a local candy store because they now 30 and they trying to get a job working at an executive office. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe y'all do. Maybe y'all know people who have never lied or who have never. And to be honest with you, when you're on that stand, if you say something that's not true or not factual, you have no choice but to tell the truth about it. Yes, at that time, I told some lies. You have no choice. Okay? But if there is anyone out there who has never told a lie, who has never told a untruth, who has never said something that wasn't totally true, please cast the first stone on these girls. You see, I don't think anyone is ignorant enough to believe that everyone in this case told 100% the truth in every situation. R. Kelly done lied. He admitted he lied to a whole bunch of women. He lied to them about trying to get him a career. He lied to them about he can make him a star. They lied to him about the age. They lied to him about other things, and everybody in the whole damn case is lying. The defense lying. Prosecutors might have told a lie. I don't know. Everybody got some damn lies. Everybody got some lies. But what's going to matter is the evidence, though. It's the evidence. Let us not lose focus on exactly what got him indicted. He didn't get indicted because the witnesses were telling the truth. That's why we have a trial. He got indicted because of the evidence that was presented in front of the jury. That's why he got indicted. That's why his ass is in jail and he will never get out of jail. No matter what you say. Well, she told a lie, so let him go. Really? If y'all could please, as y'all see at the top, please hit the like button as you come in. I don't want to say it like 10 times, so I'm going to open it up a little bit more so everybody can see it. If you will please hit the like button as you come in, please. Thank you. Now, I received some info. By the way, I keep telling people that we have people in the courthouse. We have people in the actual courtroom. Not just the overflow room where they're looking at everything on a TV. when you can't see a 360-degree peripheral of what everybody's doing. You can't see what the person on the stand is saying, and then the camera goes over for you to see exactly what's going on, what R. Kelly, what he doing, what he's saying, how the defense looking, how the prosecutor's looking, how the family looking, how the jurors looking. You can't see everything at one time. You can't see everything at the same time. You have to be in the actual courtroom. So, information I can tell y'all is eyewitness report in the actual courtroom. Yes, in the courtroom, not overflow. We're not talking about where Sylvia and the other crazy girl and all the Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck and all them was at. We ain't talking about the little overflow room. We're not talking about that room. We're not talking about where Dana J was in the hallway. How you gonna do a whole full live on information and you was in the hallway, bro? How the hell can anybody take that to be credible when you weren't even in the overflow room? You was in the hallway, bro. And you want us to huh? Man, look. Y'all know Atlas gonna keep it 1,000, right? So let me give y'all some information, because people taking damn file cabinets of notes, and all the notes seem to point to just the favor of R. Kelly. Every single note points to the favor of R. Kelly. Hey y'all, they was about to walk him out, but the judge said, hold on. Hey y'all, they told R. Kelly, hey, come on out whenever you ready. No. Let me help y'all out. So what y'all didn't hear, and this came from a eyewitness that was in the actual courtroom. What y'all did not know is when Azriel was on the stand, Mr. R. Kelly took his mask off. Mr. R. Kelly was... Hold on, y'all. Hello? All right, y'all. Sorry about that. So here's what y'all didn't know. Here's what the other side did not tell you, because they could not see this because they were in the overflow room. When Azriel got on the stand, R. Kelly took his mask off. As Azriel was on the stand, R. Kelly was fidgeting around like he was looking for something. Does anyone remember what the signal from R. Kelly was when they did the Gayle King interview? Does anyone remember that? The signal was it was a cough. Guess what R. Kelly was doing when Azriel was on the stand yesterday? He was coughing, y'all. What y'all have to understand is we are dealing with victims here. People can get triggered. You have to understand that there has been a time period that she has been away from there trying to get her life back on track. So when she is sitting right there in front of the man who trained her, he re-triggered some of her training. This came from someone who was in the courtroom, not the overflow room, not in the hallway, not outside writing in freaking chalk. So from here on out, I don't want to hear a damn thing that anybody over on that side got to say if they ass not in the actual courtroom. Period. We are going to get those damn transcripts and we're going to read it. Everything we read is not going to be good. But now that I know why she performed the way she did, I understand it now. I totally understand. Now, I also heard that today is going to be a very different day than yesterday. Because now the government and the defense has to answer to some of those things and prove against what she said or prove what she said to be true. They don't have the evidence to some of the stuff that R. Kelly triggered her to say. So the prosecution can now come against Azriel and say, now you said this yesterday. Where's the proof of that? Today is going to be a very different day. Yep. Y'all will hear today. Y'all will hear today a much different story than yesterday. When I tell y'all, yesterday hurt the defense much more than they know. He took his mask off, y'all. The evidence is not out yet. I heard the infamous Sylvia earlier say, you can't fumble or you can't recover from a fumble in the fourth quarter. Well, Sylvia, you obviously don't know what the hell you're talking about because we are in the first quarter. Maybe mid first, early second quarter. There are 4 quarters in the game. If y'all would please hit the like button It's 48 people in here, 22 likes. I put it on the screen in big yellow letters just to kind of trigger y'all to hit the like button when you come in. Please hit the like button. So I'll explain again why I ask y'all to hit the like button. And every other blogger is going to ask you to hit the like button. Because the like button to YouTube triggers the algorithms to push the videos out there, so that people that are looking for content about this will know where to find it. So with everyone in the chat, everyone that's in here, please just go out of the video, hit the like button, and come back in. I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. Okay? Or hit the dislike button, because I see the dislikes are piling up too. Hit the dislike button if you don't like the video. That's fine. But we got 52 people in here and 27 likes. That's a huge difference. Okay? So, to make a long story short, he more done yesterday before she got on the stand. No. After she got off that stand, and the defense don't even realize what happened inside the courtroom, because they were looking at her. All I'm going to say is stay tuned. They can have all the parties, write all the hearts and all the chalk paintings and sketchings that they want to, run up to the fake R. Kelly sisters like they groupies. Sylvia, hey guys, I got the exclusive, guys, on Infamous Sylvia. Yeah. So, y'all, please hit the like button. 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 55 in here, only 30 likes. 55 in here, only 30 likes. Please hit the like button. Trust me, as much as you hate hearing me say it, I hate having to keep repeating it. Please hit the like button. I promise you it's free to hit the like button, y'all. Now, if I just simply got 26 haters of 26 people that just simply don't like this channel, then I guess that's just what it is. But y'all can at least hit the dislike button. Right? All right, y'all. So, our plan is going to be to focus on just simply the facts of the case. Thomas Reese, what up, bro? Everybody hit the like button. Hit the like button. If you're just coming in, please hit the like button. If you've been in here, X out of the video, hit the like button. Okay? I'm just going to tell y'all the direction of where I'm going to go on this channel. I can't speak for nobody else's channel. But I am no longer going to rely on the opposite side giving a fair, unbiased recap of what happened in court. Each and every single channel, the only one that I felt was kind of fair was Yellow Michelle on the Boski channel. She seemed to be the most fair response out of the courtroom. The most unbiased. I will say that. I will say out of all of them, she was the most reasonably fair. She read both sides. She took notes that was for and against them. I'll give her that. So shout out to Yellow Michelle. Shout out to Yellow Michelle. All the other channels? Nah. I'm cool. I'm not listening to that. We are going to get the transcripts. We're going to read the good, the bad, and the ugly on this channel. Everybody, please hit the like button. All right, y'all. So this is what we're going to do today. What it do, boss? Miss Angie, what's going on? Aisha, hey. Shaw Baby, what's going on? Karen J, hey. Hey, what's going on? Miss B Samp, what's going on? Toon, what up, bro? What's going on? What's going on? Ty, what's up, Ty? How you doing? All right, y'all. So let's get into this. We are going to get back into these transcripts because that is what is going to matter at the end of the day. All of the jurors are in the actual courtroom. They are the ones who are going to make the final decision. Thank you, T-Baby. I appreciate you hitting the like button for me. Thank you. All right, so we obviously have a huge influx of haters in here this morning. But guess what? That's okay. Let them come on in and sit here and learn something. Because they sure as hell not going to read the actual transcripts and everything. But we going to do that for them. All right? So, I'm going to pick up to where I left off yesterday, y'all. This was on page 407. So this was McGrath, who was the doctor, who is getting This is a director from Miss Shahida, who is representing the government. So this is the doctor. He says, I guess we're clear. Ms. Shahida says, now you testified that you began treating the defendant in 1994 and continued to treat him for approximately 25 years. Is that correct? Mr. McGrath said, that's correct. Shahida said, and I believe that you also testified that at some point you concluded that the defendant had contracted genital herpes. Is that correct? The doctor said, that's correct. Shahida said, and how did you come to that conclusion? The doctor said, over time, complaints that the patient, R. Kelly, had concerns about the bumps and that at times the medicine would help. So he would call and request a prescription for what he called the blue pill. The attorney said, and what did you understand the defendant to mean when he asked you for the blue pill? The doctor said to treat him for genital herpes. Shahida said, what, if any? Well, how did you in your practice treat the defendant's genital herpes? The doctor said, well, initially, as I recall, intermediately in general, the rule is if it occurs more than 3 times in a year, you should be taking medicine every day. A pill a day to reduce shedding and reduce the risk, but not eliminate the risk of spreading it to somebody else. But you can reduce the risk by taking medicine every day instead of as needed. Then the lawyer said, and when you say as needed, what are you referring to? The doctor said, as needed for breakouts. Like, if you just have 1 breakout a year or 2 breakouts a year, then that would be appropriate. But if it's more than 3, the rule is in general to start them on a daily pill to perhaps not have any more breakouts and reduce the viral shedding. The lawyer said, and in your time as the defendant's doctor, did there ever come a time where the defendant had more than 3 outbreaks in a year? The doctor said, well, I can only assume based on me insisting on taking it once a day and prescribing him at the time with a year of refills to reduce phone calls and to encourage regular treatment. Hello. Lawyer said, and so you did in fact prescribe the defendant with the medication to treat genital herpes for a 12-month supply. The doctor said, yeah, the phone calls seem to be frequent for the blue pill. So I would encourage 1 a day, 30 pills instead of 5 a day treatment, of course, or 10-day treatment, of course. Lawyer said, now I think you mentioned the medication Valtrex. Doctor said it's an antiviral agent, valaciclovir. Valaciclovir. The lawyer said, is valaciclovir the genetic name of the drug? The doctor said, yes it is, the generic name. The lawyer said, is Valtrex the brand name? The doctor said, that's correct. The lawyer said, after you first prescribed Valtrex or valaciclovir to the defendant, how did he suspend to the treatment? The doctor said it would take the bumps away. Lawyer said, okay, so it would help with the outbreak. The doctor said, yes, it would. The lawyer said, did you prescribe Valtrex or its generic version to the defendant multiple times? The doctor said, yes, I did. The lawyer said, after you first prescribed Valtrex or its generic version to him, did the defendant continue to ask you to prescribe them for him? The doctor said, yes, he did. The lawyer said, and how did he do so? The doctor said it was a phone call, usually from one of his employees, most commonly from a man named June Brown. Lawyer said, and did he also sometimes call you himself? The doctor said he would call himself, yes. The lawyer said, now you mentioned, well, I'm going to show the witness only what's been marked for identification as Government Exhibit 3. Do you recognize this person? The attorney, the witness said, yes, I do. The lawyer said, who do you recognize it to be? The doctor said, June Brown. The lawyer said, have you met June Brown personally? The doctor said, yes. The lawyer said, is that fair and accurate photo of him? The doctor said, it's a fair and accurate photo of him. Ms. Shahida said, I move to admit Government Exhibit 3. Ms. Blanca said, no objection. The court said, it's in evidence. Ms. Shahida said, may we publish it? The court said, yes. Then the lawyer said, and how did you understand June Brown to be with respect to the defendant? The doctor said, it's an employee of Mr. Kelly. The lawyer said, now sitting here today, do you recall the exact date that you came to the conclusion that the defendant had genital herpes? The doctor said, no, I cannot come up to a conclusion about the exact date. The lawyer said, based on your review of Government Exhibit 237 prior to your testimony here today, is it fair to say that the Government Exhibit 237 includes multiple records indicating that you had reached such a conclusion in the past medical history? Portions of the various progress notes. The doctor said yes, in the electronic medical records. The lawyer said, and again, you made that switch to electronic records in March of 2001. The doctor said yes. Then the lawyer said, I want to show you page 124 of Government Exhibit 237. What is the date of this record? The doctor said the date is December 9th of 2011. The attorney said, and what, if any, does this record reference regarding herpes? The doctor said herpes is the past medical history as also along with the current assessments. The lawyer said, and what, if any, treatment plan is indicated here? The doctor said continue Valtrex, 500 milligrams, 1 tablet orally once a day. The doctor said, and does it indicate that at this time, or what, if anything, does it indicate about what medicines the defendant is currently taking at the time? The doctor said, the current medication is Valtrex, 500 milligrams, 1 tablet per day. The lawyer said, and again, the Valtrex was prescribed to treat his genital herpes. The doctor said, that is correct. The lawyer said, and what is indicated under history of present illness? The doctor said, the reason why he was in the office, or at the office, I had asked him to come in to register since the office plan changed to electronic medical records. At the time, I also asked him to have a adult exam, review of systems, examinations, screening labs, and a flu shot, and he declined. The lawyer said, all right, so EMR, that's what switch. That's that switch. The doctor said, electronic medical record. The lawyer said, just for the court reporter, let's make sure we're not talking at the same time, okay? Now, you indicated that at a certain point, you changed the way that you were prescribing Valtrex to the defendant, correct? The doctor said, yeah, that's true. The lawyer said, and did you explain why you were doing so to the defendant? The doctor said, look, I don't think I explained it to him, but it was a transition from less phone-ins to more electronic prescriptions. The lawyer said, so explain what you mean by that. The doctor said, well, more electronic records, prescriptions were called in, not always recorded. Electronic medical records allow you to record more prescriptions unless it's at night or on the weekend or something where you don't have access to the system. The lawyer said, did you indicate to the defendant that you were prescribing 11 refills at a time? What? Did you indicate to the defendant that you were prescribing 11 refills at the time? Golly. Ooh. Hold on. The doctor said, I frequently encourage him to take it daily instead of as needed. So I frequently will prescribe 30 pills to encourage one a day with a year of refills to reduce requests for the pill and encourage him to stay on it long term. Okay. And then the lawyer said, and what, if any, based on your treatment of the defendant, what, if any, conclusions did you reach about whether he was, in fact, taking it every day, 12 months a year? The doctor said, my conclusion is this one visit gives me the impression he was taking it once a day. The lawyer said, did you ever reach a different conclusion? McGrath said, not that I can recall. The lawyer said, all right, I'm going to show you another page, okay? Before I get to that, going back to how you issue prescriptions for the defendant, would you both call the pharmacy and issue electronic prescriptions for him? The doctor said, yes, that would occur. And then the lawyer said, and what was the main pharmacy that you called to issue the defendant's prescriptions? And the doctor said, the Walgreens at 641 North Clark in Chicago. The lawyer said, and was there a name commonly used to refer to that Walgreens? The doctor said it was referred to as the Rock and Roll McDonald's Walgreens. The lawyer said, why is it referred to that way? The doctor said it was a rock and roll theme at McDonald's, and there was also a Hard Rock Cafe across the street. The Walgreens was across the street from these two rock and roll places. The lawyer said, showing the witness only what has been marked for identification is Government Exhibit 520. Do you recognize this photograph? The doctor said, yes, I do. Uh-oh. The lawyer said, and what is depicted in this photograph? Then the doctor said, it's a McDonald's, which was referred to as a Rock and Roll McDonald's in Chicago. Then the lawyer said, and that is what the Rock and Roll McDonald's in Chicago looked like in the past. And then the witness said, that's how it looked like in the past, correct. Ms. Shahida said, I move to admit Exhibit 520. The court said, any objection? Ms. Blake Becker said, Judge, I simply asked for a date if we could, please. The court said, well, it's really a question. Is that the McDonald's, did it change or something? The witness said, it did. It since had been torn down and rebuilt. So the court said, this is what what it looked like when, ? When I guess it was torn down and rebuilt. The witness said yes. The court said, all right. The government said, I move to admit it, Your Honor. The court said it's admitted. The government's Exhibit 520 was received in evidence as of this date. So the lawyer said, thank you, Your Honor. May we publish it? The court said yes. Then the lawyer said, where was the Walgreens at 641 North Clark in relation to the Rock and Roll McDonald's? The doctor said, to the left and behind across the street, kitty corner. I believe there is another restaurant directly across kitty corner. The lawyer said, did that Walgreens have a special feature? The doctor said, yes, it had a drive-thru was available at the Walgreens. The doctor said, the lawyer said, among the prescriptions that you issued to the defendant at the Walgreens, was Valtrex included as one of those? The doctor said, yes, it was one frequently. The lawyer said, over the years, how often did you issue Valtrex prescriptions to the defendant at the Walgreens? The doctor said, it was so often that I had memorized the phone number at the Walgreens since then. The lawyer said, do you remember it now? The doctor said, 312-587-1416. The lawyer said, after you made the switch to electronic records in March of 2011, did you also issue prescriptions electronically for the defendant to that Walgreens? The doctor said, yes, I did. The lawyer said, did you also issue prescriptions to the defendant at other pharmacies? The doctor said, yes, other pharmacies. The lawyer said, is there a record in medical records that you provided to the government, Exhibits 237, of the first time you issued a prescription for Valtrex to the defendant to treat his genital herpes? The doctor said, I'm not sure of the exact first prescription. I think the earliest. Then the lawyer said, the question I asked is there a record in government's Exhibit 237 of the first time you did so? The doctor said, I can't be sure if it is yes or no. The lawyer said, may I approach, Your Honor? The witness said, sure. The court said, it's okay with you? Okay, go ahead, Ms. Shahida. So then the lawyer said, will you please take a look at government's Exhibit 237? The doctor said, yes. The lawyer said, and let me know when you had a chance to do so. So the doctor's looking over the document. And then the doctor said, okay. Then the government said, does that refresh your recollection as to whether there is any record of the government's Exhibit 237 of the first time you issued a Valtrex prescription to the defendant? The doctor said, yes. The lawyer said, what is the answer? The doctor said, the earliest date I can see is December 8th of 2011. And then the lawyer said, and that's electronic record, correct? The doctor said, that's electronic record. So the lawyer said, as you testified previously, you called in Valtrex prescriptions for the defendant prior to switching to electronic records, correct? The doctor said, that's correct. The lawyer said, so that means, does that refresh your recollection? Withdrawn. Are those called in prescriptions prior to the switch to electronic recordings included in medical records that you provided to the government regarding the defendant? The doctor said, no, they are not. The lawyer said, why is that? The doctor said, in general, in the written days, called-in prescriptions weren't recorded all the time. Wow. Wow. So Ms. Shahida says, may I approach, Your Honor? The court says yes. Ms. Shahida says, I want to direct your attention to page 221 of Government's Exhibit 237. What is this document? The witness said it's a telephone encounter dated on August 15, 2012. Ms. Shahida said, what does it indicate? The doctor said, refill. Continue. Valtrex 500 milligram once a day. Number 30 with 11 refills. The lawyer said, is that what you're referring to earlier about prescribing a year's worth of Valtrex at the time? The doctor said to encourage regular treatment instead of episodic treatment. The lawyer says, that's from August 15, 2012. The doctor said yes. The lawyer said, again, this was to treat genital herpes? The doctor said, that's correct. The lawyer said, I want to direct your attention to page 219 of the same exhibit. What is the date of this record? The doctor said, December 26, of 2012. The lawyer said, so a little over 4 months later. The doctor said, yes. Ooh. The lawyer said, what is indicated in this record? The doctor said, another refill for 30 days with 11 refills. The lawyer said, so another year-long prescription. The doctor said, yes. The lawyer said, just 4 months later? The doctor said, just 4 months later. The lawyer said, you indicated earlier that the defendant would sometimes contact you to indicate the bumps are back. Do you recall that testimony? The doctor said, yes. The government said, what did you understand, or what did you understand him to be referring to when he said the bumps are back? The doctor said that his genital herpes had acted up. The lawyer said, so bumps on his genitals. The witness said, yes, bumps on his genitals. The lawyer said, so having just looked through each page of this exhibit 237, does it also include indications of prescribing Valtrex in 2015? The witness said, yes. The lawyer said, 2016? The witness said, yes. The lawyer said, 2017? The doctor said, yes. The lawyer said 2019? The doctor said yes. The lawyer said, I'm showing the witness only what is marked for indication or for identification as Government's Exhibit 402. Do you see this exhibit? The doctor said, yes, I do. The lawyer said, what is it? The doctor said, it's a prescription for Robert Kelly dated March 19, 2007 for Valtrex 500 milligrams, quantity 60, with 3 refills for March 1st, 2008. Lawyer said, does it indicate who prescribed this medication to the defendant? The doctor said, I prescribed the medication to the defendant. The lawyer said, I move to admit Government's Exhibit 402. Blank Becker said, no objection. The court said, that's in evidence. Ms. Shahida said, may we publish it? The court said, yes. The lawyer said, you indicated this is a prescription for Valtrex 500 milligram tablets, right? The doctor said yes. That's correct. The lawyer said, I think I'm going to zoom in. The 3 refills is before March 18th of 2008. Is that correct? The doctor said, that's correct. The lawyer said, and the date on the prescription is March 19th, 2007. Is that correct? The doctor said, correct. The lawyer said, and based on this record, is it your conclusion that you were already treating the defendant for genital herpes by March 2007? The doctor said, yes, that's my conclusion, that I was treating him by March 19, 2007 for genital herpes. The lawyer said, in the course of your doctor-patient relationship with him, the defendant, where did you conduct your examinations of the defendant and where did you treat him? The doctor said, most of the time at the office, occasionally at his office, at his house or his studio. The lawyer said, do you have other offices or addresses associated with your medical practice? The doctor said, not with my private practice. The doctor said, is there another part of your practice? The witness said, I practice at Northwestern Clinic at a different address on Tuesdays. The lawyer said, what address is associated with the clinic that you practice at? The doctor said 675 North St. Clair Street in Chicago, Illinois. The lawyer said, are you familiar with the address 251 East Horan Street in Chicago, Illinois? The doctor said, that's the same building around the corner. Yes. The lawyer said, same building as your clinic? The doctor said, same building as the clinic. The lawyer said, you mentioned you sometimes treated the defendant at his house or his studio. Is that right? The doctor said, that's correct. The lawyer said, I'm showing you what is in evidence as Government's Exhibit 502A. Do you recognize this? The doctor said, yes, I do. The lawyer said, what is it? The doctor said, it's the defendant's house and the defendant lived in at one time. The lawyer said, have you been to this house? The doctor said, yes, I have. The lawyer said, where is it located? The doctor said, Olympia Fields, Illinois. The lawyer said, is that a suburb of Chicago? The doctor said, yes, it is. The lawyer said, what part of this residence have you been inside? The doctor said, the entryway, the living room, the den, the kitchen, the side room, the game room, the hallway, and the basement. The lawyer said, what, if anything, is located in the basement? The doctor said, the studio. The lawyer said, you mentioned that sometimes you treated the defendant at his studio. Was that studio at Olympia Fields? The witness said, yes. And the attorney said, any other studios? The witness said, there is one on, in the earlier days, Larrabee, another one on Ohio Street, then one on Justine. The lawyer said, showing the witness only what is marked for identification as Government's Exhibit 525Q. Do you recognize this? The doctor said, yes, I do. The lawyer said, what is this photograph of? The doctor said, the entrance to the studio on Larrabee. Lawyer said, that was a studio the defendant used? The doctor said, yes. Then the lawyer said, did you personally go to this studio? The witness said, yes. The lawyer said, is it a fair and accurate photograph of what the studio looked like at the time that you went to it? The witness said, yes. Mr. Shahida said, I move to admit Government's Exhibit 525Q. Ms. Blank Becker said, no objection. The court said, all right, you can publish it. Was it received as evidence? Ms. Shahida said. Then the lawyer said, well, I'm going to show the witness only what is marked for identification as Government's Exhibit 505A. Do you recognize this? The witness said, yes. The lawyer said, what do you recognize? What do you recognize this to be? The witness said, studio on Ohio Street. Government said, is that a studio you personally visited the defendant in? The doctor said, yes. The government said, I move to admit exhibits 505A. Ms. Blank Becker said no objection. The court said it's in. You can publish it. Shahida said, thank you, Your Honor. Then, the lawyer said, on the occasions when you treated the defendant outside of your office, what led you to do so? The doctor said, I would get a call from usually one of his employees that Robert would need to be seen, occasionally from Robert himself. The lawyer said, what did you in fact, did you in fact go when you received these calls? The doctor said, majority of times, yes. The lawyer said, what time of the day would you go? The doctor said, usually in the evening, 7 p.m. or later. The lawyer said, during the course of your 25-year... Hold on, y'all. All right. Let me see. All right, it says here, the lawyer said, so during the course of your 25-year doctor and patient relationship with the defendant, did he have health insurance? The witness said, yes, he did. And then the lawyer said, did he pay for your medical services using health insurance? And then the doctor said, no, he did not. Ooh, wee. The lawyer said, did he pay for your medical services at all? The doctor said, no, he did not. The lawyer said, so over the course of your 25-year relationship with the defendant, did you learn that he was a successful singer? The doctor said, yes, I did. Then the lawyer said, in addition to your relationship with the defendant as his doctor, what, if any, other relationship did you have with the defendant? The doctor said, a social relationship. The lawyer said, can you describe what relationship to the jury? And then the doctor said, my wife and I at times would go to his house for dinner, children's birthday party, or special parties at the house. The lawyer said, did you also see the defendant socially at other locations? The doctor said, occasionally at a restaurant or one of his concerts. How about at his studios? Asked the lawyer. And then the witness said, we'd be invited to listen to music at his studio. That's correct. The lawyer said, you mentioned parties you attended. Where did those parties take place? The witness said, I recall where the Olympia Fields. The attorney said, did you attend the defendant's 52nd birthday party? The doctor said that was attended. The attorney said, where did it take place? The doctor said, Justine's studio. The lawyer said, when you say that Justine's studio, are you referring to the street the studio was on? The doctor said, yes, the studio that was on Justine Street. Then the attorney said, when did that 52nd birthday party take place? The attorney said, the doctor said January 8th of 2019. The lawyer said, you and your wife attended that? The doctor said, yes. Y'all hold one moment. Let me grab something to drink. Hold on. All right, I'm back, y'all. So, it says here. So you and your wife attended that. The doctor said yes. Showing the witness only what is marked for identification as Government's Exhibit 503A. Do you recognize what is depicted in this photo? The doctor said that's the building studio on Justine Street. And then the lawyer said, is that a fair and accurate photo of that building? The doctor said, yes, it is. Then the lawyer said, I move to admit Government's Exhibit 503A. Ms. Blank Becker said, no objection. The court said it's in evidence. You can publish it. She said, okay, thank you. Then the lawyer said, is this the studio where you attended the defendant's 52nd birthday party? And then the doctor said, yes. And then the lawyer said, you mentioned that you also attended some of the defendant's concerts. Is that right? The doctor said, yes. The lawyer said, approximately how many of the defendant's concerts have you attended over 12 years? Wow. The doctor said at least 10, perhaps 12. So y'all, this doctor sounded like he was more of a fan, a crazed fan, than a doggone doctor. Good grief. How many doctors y'all know go to their patients' concerts, go to their house, go to birthday parties, go to... Man. So he said at least 10, perhaps 12. The lawyer said, so 10 to 12. The doctor said yes. The lawyer said approximately. The witness said yes. The attorney said, did you attend those concerts alone or with someone else? The doctor said, with my wife. The lawyer said, what, if any, relationship did your wife have with the defendant? The witness said, I'd call it a friendship, or a mother-like friendship, or a caring relationship. The lawyer said, what did most of those concerts that you and your wife, where did most of those concerts that you and your wife take place, that y'all went to? The doctor said the majority were in Chicago. The lawyer said, did you ever travel to attend any of the defendant's concerts? The witness said yes. The lawyer said, where did those take place? Then the witness said, New York, just outside of St. Louis, on St. Charles, Missouri, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Atlanta. The lawyer said, did you attend a concert in Nashville? The doctor said, in Nashville? Yes. The lawyer said, were the tickets to those concerts provided to you by the defendant for free? The doctor said yes. The attorney said, who paid for your travel to these destinations? The doctor said he paid for it, and sometimes I paid for it. The attorney said, when you paid for it, what were the circumstances of that? The doctor said, the St. Louis concert, I just paid for it on my own. The other 2 times I went to check out at the desk, as his employees hasn't made arrangement, so I just paid for it. Government said, had you been expected to be paid? Had you expected it to be paid for? The witness said, I had been expecting it to be paid for, but it wasn't. The government said, one moment, Your Honor. I want to show the witness only what is marked for identification as Government's Exhibit 336A. The court said, I'm going to ask after this to find a convenient time to break. The government said, I'm about to be done, Your Honor. The court said, great. Ms. Shahida said, do you recognize this photo? He said, yes, I do. The lawyer said, what do you recognize it to be? The witness said, a picture of myself and Mr. Kelly. And then she said, okay, I'll move to admit Government's Exhibit 336. Blank Becker said no objection. The court said, okay, that's an evidence. Shahida said, can we publish it? The court said, yes. The court said, when I say it's in evidence. Okay, so it was in evidence. Shahida said, okay, I'm sorry. The attorney said, is that you depicted where I'm pointing on the right side? The witness said, yes, that's me. The government said, and is this the defendant? The witness said, yeah. Lawyer said, looking at this photograph, can you tell me where it was taken? The witness said, I think a cigar bar. The government said, when is the last time that you were at a cigar bar with the defendant? The doctor said, sometime in 2019. I don't recall the exact date. The lawyer said, how was it that you ended up at a cigar bar with the defendant? The witness said, I got a phone call from my wife to meet at the cigar bar. And the attorney said, what's your wife's name? The witness said, the doctor said, Jean. The attorney said, same last name as you? The witness said, yes, Jean McGrath. The attorney said, fair to say that this is a social event. The witness said, yes, that's fair to say. Then the lawyer said, well, when, if at all, did you stop being the defendant's primary care physician? The witness said in early 2019. The lawyer said after the cigar bar or before. The witness said whenever his apprehension occurred. The lawyer said sometime in 2019. The witness said sometime in 2019. The lawyer said, when was the last time you had spoken to the defendant? The doctor said, to the best of my recollection, that would have been at this gathering social event. The attorney said, at a cigar bar? The witness said, yes. Ms. Shahida said, no further questions. The court said to Blank Becker, do you have a lot or do you want to go tomorrow? Blank Becker said, half hour, Judge. The court said, I think we'll wait until tomorrow then. Ms. Shahida, can I just mention one thing at sidebar? So they continued. Let me see here to the sidebar. Ms. Shahida said, I just thought I'd mention this. I don't know if anything can be done. He is scheduled to be flying back at 7 a.m. tomorrow to get back to his medical practice. I don't know if it's possible if the jury is willing to stay longer. The court said, can you stay longer? The court reporter said, yes. The court said, you have a half hour. Ms. Blank Becker said, can we strike the apprehension part that he said? Apprehension part, okay. The court said, I guess we can. I think they figured out that he got apprehended. He's here. Blank Becker said, I agree. The court said it's up to you. If you decide you want to highlight it, let me know. Let's get it. Let's let it go for now. So they ended the sidebar. The court said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask your indulgence. Apparently the witness has got to be out of town. I'm told that the cross-examination isn't very long. So if you'll bear with me, we'll finish the witness today. Anybody have a problem with that? All right, go ahead, Ms. Blank Becker. Ms. Blank Becker said, thank you, Judge. Cross-examination of Ms. Blank Becker on the doctor. Blank Becker says, good afternoon. The doctor says, good afternoon. Blank Becker says, Dr. McGrath, my name is attorney Nicole Blank Becker. The court said, you could take your mask off. Nicole Blank Becker said, my name is Nicole Blank Becker. I'll be asking you a bunch of questions about the stuff that you had just spoken about, okay? The witness said, okay. Becker said, Dr. McGrath, you indicated that you had been treating Mr. Kelly for about 25 years. Is that fair to say? The doctor says yes. Becker said, you think you also indicated that you started seeing him sometime around 1994. Is that correct? The witness said, doctor said, yeah, that's correct. Becker said, when the government was just going over with you, when was the first time that you were able to make some type of, the first time that you had an impression that Mr. Kelly had potentially had herpes? I believe you indicated that that must have been sometime between December 8th of 2011. Does that sound right? The doctor said, that sounds right until the other prescription was shown to me, which is 2007. Ms. Blank Becker said, yes, I apologize. Right. That's when there was one in 2007. Prior to 2007, so we're talking, and I'm not that good at math. Obviously, you're not. From 1994 and 2000 to 2007, the medical records that were turned over, there was no notes of past history or anything in there that had anything to do with herpes, correct? The doctor said, correct. The government said, objection, misstates the evidence. The court said, well, you can ask, clear it up on redirect. Mr. Heater said, yes, Your Honor. Becker said, okay, so maybe there was the word herpes because maybe you would have to test for it. The court said, you know, it is really much easier if you just put a question to the witness. Don't make a long statement. Just ask him a question. So Becker said, so when it comes to herpes, and obviously that's the hot topic, there's herpes that you started to talk about. There's different ways to diagnose. There's two different kinds. Let's call it strains of herpes, correct? The doctor said, there's different strains of herpes, correct? The lawyer said, and when you were talking earlier about trying to figure out which strain someone would have, you have to actually do a blood test. Is that correct? The doctor said at this time, contemporaneously in 1994, we did not do a blood test. Becker said, what did you do? The doctor said a culture. Becker said, and that's what you were describing earlier, correct? The doctor said, correct. Becker said, thank you. Now, in the medical records that we have, there's actually no positive cultures, correct? The doctor said, correct. Becker said, for herpes, correct? The doctor said, correct. Becker said, and that covers the genital herpes or oral herpes, correct? The doctor said, correct. Becker said, and there are some discussions also about testing done for other venereal diseases, correct? The doctor said, correct. Becker said, and there was a discussion. Well, gonorrhea was one of the things that was tested for, correct? The doctor said, correct. Becker said, and syphilis as well? The doctor said, yes. Becker said, now those are bacterial infections. The doctor said, gonorrhea is a bacteria. Syphilis is not. Becca said, how about herpes? The doctor said, herpes is a virus. Becca said, not a bacterial infection then, correct? The doctor said, correct. Becca said, do you remember what year the testing for herpes changed from a cultural to a blood taking? The doctor said, no, I do not know what exact year. Becca said, sure. Okay, what is just a couple of years ago? Or is it a long time ago? Could you give us that? The doctor said, I'm not sure. Becca says, no idea. Doctor says, no idea. Becca says, okay, got it. Now, you mentioned earlier that you actually knew Walgreens' phone number by heart, correct? Doctor said, that's correct. Becca said, and you have plenty of other patients that will get prescriptions from there as well. Is that correct? The doctor said, some patients would use that pharmacy. Becca said, now the words that you used in your medical notes regarding herpes was that it was your impression. Is that fair to say? The doctor said, assessment. That would be more fair to say. Becca said, okay. So on one of the records that the government has shown you, it actually says it's your impression. Doesn't that ring a bell? The doctor said, no. But to the letter A in my notes is for assessment. I'll go along with the word impression also. Government says, objection. Court said, overruled. I mean, it does mean the same thing. The doctor said, I would need more time to think. They're pretty close. The court said, all right. The doctor said, I'll go along with either one. The court said, all right. Blank Becca said, thank you. Becca said, now, there's a difference between an impression and a final diagnosis. Is that correct? The doctor said they sometimes can be the same. Becca said, sure. They could end up being the same, correct? The doctor said, hopefully, they'll be close to the same as at the initial. Becca said, so do you get from your impression to the final diagnosis typically? The doctor said a combination of the history, the exam, and the response to therapy. Becca said specifically, when we're talking about something like herpes, how, and I understand that you've indicated that there's some things you could visually see, but with regards to testing, how do you get from the impression to the final diagnosis? The witness said, a combination of all things, just like I mentioned, the history, the exam, the laboratory supportive data, sometimes imaging, and the response to therapy. Becca said, is it fair to say, Dr. McGrath, that from your experience in treating Mr. Kelly, sitting here in court today, you cannot say that 100% he has herpes? The doctor said, I feel that 100% he has herpes. Becca says, okay, are you saying you feel as in you know? I feel like it's freezing in here. Government said, objection. Becca said, but someone else might not feel the same way. The witness said, is that a question? Becca said, we have to wait for a judge. The court said, oh, you're asking me? Shahida said, there's an objection. The court said, oh, I didn't hear it. You guys have to use the microphone. Ms. Shahida said, I apologize. The court said, the objection is sustained as to form. Becca said, when someone is diagnosed in your experience, let's say with, God forbid, AIDS, usually there's a testing done, correct, in that order to determine if they have AIDS. The doctor said, regarding AIDS, yes. Becca said, okay. And the testing is done to confirm whether or not medically they have it, correct? The witness said, with AIDS? The lawyer said, yes. The doctor said, it helps support the diagnosis. It helps confirm the diagnosis of AIDS. Becca said, confirm the diagnosis. Yes. All right, so if if a patient had had a test come back and the results were negative, you could say you know 100% that that person does not have AIDS, correct? Mr. McGrath said, I'm not sure about the false negatives with AIDS, so I can't answer that on the base of my knowledge. I can't answer that question regarding AIDS on the base of my knowledge. Becca said, so there's always the possibility of false negatives. Is that what you're saying? The court said, I think he said he doesn't know. My understanding is that you're saying even though the test can come back negative for AIDS, there's still this possibility of a false negative. So you wouldn't say 100% that someone has AIDS. The witness says, or the doctor says, well, there's other tests for AIDS. There's viral counts, and it's not that simple. So I can't answer that. I don't have the knowledge of AIDS. Becca said, Dr. McGrath, I understand that you earlier said that you think that that's what he has. Government says, objection. Ms. Blank Becker says, is that common? The court said, well, sustained as to form, but you can rephrase the question. Blank Becker said, thank you, Judge. Becker said, that you believe 100% that he has has herpes, correct? The witness said, I believe that 100% based on his concern, the one exam I had, the reoccurrence of the description of the lesions, and the response to therapy. Becca said, okay, doctor, you never told him to come in and come see you. Perhaps during the outbreak or the shedding that you talked about earlier so that he could get tested and you could officially stamp those medical records saying, yes, he actually has this. McGrath said, I don't recall if I ever asked him to come in during the outbreak. Becca said, nor did he ever come to you when he was claiming he had an outbreak, correct? The doctor said, I feel he didn't need to if he responded so quickly to the treatment. Becca said, well, the treatment I think that you're referring to is the Valtrex, right? The doctor said the treatment is Valtrex. Becca said, yes, well, Valtrex can be used to treat other things besides herpes. The witness said, such as, Becca said, you don't get to ask me the questions. Oh. The witness said, I know, but the court said, well. The witness said, sorry. The court said, it's okay. Can it be used to treat other things other than herpes? Have you prescribed it for other things other than herpes? The witness said, I prescribed it for herpes simplex cold sores, herpes genitalia, genital herpes, and herpes zoster. Herpes. There's the famous herpes, y'all. Hold on. Okay, so Becca said, okay, herpes, but doctor, there's different types. We just discussed that, right? there's different kinds of strands of herpes, correct? The doctor said there's different serotypes. Herpes, herpes, herpes. 1, 2. I think there's up to 6 or 7 or 8. Becca said, okay, and I'm not a medical doctor, but Dr. McGrath, are you saying that someone who has herpes, a person A, and then we've got person B over here who has herpes, they automatically have the same kind of herpes? The doctor said, is that a question? Or Becca said, that is a question. I can ask it again if you like. The witness said, ask it again, please. Becca said, this is a question. I can ask it again if you like. The witness said, ask me again, please. Becca said, person A has herpes. Person B has herpes. Are you telling the jury that means they have the same herpes and the same type herpes 1 or 2? Shahida said, the government said, objection. The court said, well, overruled. Can you answer the question? The doctor said they may have the same type of herpes. They may not. The government, Becker said, okay, so 50-50, right? The court said, well, I'll sustain the objection to that. But put another question to the witness. Becker said, so you're saying, yes, they might have the same type, but may not. Is that fair to say? Is that what you just said? The witness said, the doctor said, that's correct. The court said, who are we talking about? 3 different patients? Is that what you understand the question to be? The witness said, I'm confused with the question. The doctor said, I'm confused with the question. So the court said, let's just clarify that, what the testimony is. Is that your question? Why don't you rephrase a question so the doctor can understand it? Becca said, sure. Becca said, there is genital herpes, right? The doctor said, yes. Becca said, and how you say it is a subcategory. It's the type of herpes. What is the proper? The witness said, it's when the herpes virus is present on the genitals. It doesn't matter which of the herpes serotypes it is. It will be genital herpes no matter which one it is. Becca said, got it. So there's other kinds of herpes, right, than just genital. Becca said, right. The witness said, so there's oral. Oh, no. Becca said, so there's oral, right? The doctor said, usually on the lips. Okay. All right. Right. So it's so there's oral, right? The witness said usually on the lips, not the mouth. Becker said, I apologize. I would have said to the lips. I should have said on the lips. And those are 2 different strains. Is that correct? The doctor said they may or they may not be. It can be the same strain. Becca said, okay, they could be the same strain or they cannot be. Is that what you said, right? That's what you said, right? The doctor said, yes. Becca said, additionally, when a patient comes in and ultimately you determine that you believe they have herpes, you do your testing and are you able to tell? You can't actually tell them who gave it to them. Is that fair to say? The witness says, the doctor says that's fair to say. Then Becca says, so herpes could lie dormant. I think you even indicated that earlier for a long period of time. Is that accurate? The doctor said yes. Becca said, and then someone might not have an outbreak, and we're talking it could be years. Is that fair to say? The doctor said yes. Becca said, all right. And so if someone came into your office, they ultimately they had herpes, and they told you that they were intimate with one person, that would help you try to figure out who is, right? The government says objection. The court says, is it part of your job as a doctor to figure out who transmitted the herpes to your patient? The doctor said, no, it is not part of my job. Part of my job is to instruct the patient to call their sexual contacts and inform them of the diagnosis. It's not my job to call the patients who he had sex with and transfer he or she or whomever went to or from who to who. Becca said, so you don't ask him questions and try to ascertain if he's having sex with multiple people that you want to make sure he can protect? The doctor said, what's the question? Becca said, in discussing with your patients, and obviously specifically, Mr. Kelly, you never discussed with him about who is the other person. Maybe I should give them the medication as well. Government said, objection. The court said, overruled. Did you ever have that conversation with Mr. Kelly? The doctor said, I had the conversation to inform his partners. The court said, you told him to inform his partners? The doctor said, that is in the medical records. Inform partners. Becca said, got it. So the answer to my question is no. The doctor said, repeat the question. Becca said, I'm going to move on because I can't even remember that one at this point. Dr. McGrath, when it comes to genital herpes, that is or not a bacterial disease. The doctor said it's not a bacterial disease. It's a viral disease. Becca said, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. The doctor said, it's a viral disease. Becca said, you indicated that you also had a friendship with Mr. Kelly. Is that fair to say? The doctor said, yeah. Becca said, socially as well? The doctor said, yes. Becca said, correct. All right. And in fact, you'd been at a number of his different studios to treat him. Is that fair to say? Or to see if he's not feeling well? The doctor said, yes. Becca said, okay, and how often would you say that you've been to the studio? Or just once or twice? The doctor said, in 25 years, not often. Becca said, okay. And I think you said, so you've been there 3 different occasions. Is that right, with the studios? The doctor said, I'll have to read that. I'd have to add up the studios, Larrabee, the House Studio, Ohio Street, and Justine. That adds up to 4. Becca said, I apologize. You've been to 4? Thank you. And when you've gone to those studios, there's been other people there? The doctor said, yes. The lawyer said, men, women, one, or both. The doctor said, yes, as I can recall. Becca said, you ever see any underage girls there? The witness said, not that I can recall. I didn't check their ages. Becca said, you didn't ask them for their license? The doctor said, no. Becca said, not your job to go there, huh? All right, I apologize. Doctor, did you notice, were there bedrooms at any of the studios that you would go to that you noticed? The doctor said, I don't recall seeing any bedrooms. Becca said, and was there any activities And was there any activities there were when you were there? I believe the testimony was that sometimes you'd go later at night. Is that fair to say? The witness said yes. The doctors, Becker says, and sometimes you'll have to kind of wait for a while. Is that fair to say? The doctor said yes. And Becker said, and when you were waiting, Mr. Kelly was working on his music. Is that fair to say? The witness said, I don't know what he was doing while I was waiting. Becker says, not always. So you never went into the studio and listened to him while you were waiting to get the chance to speak with him. The doctor said, I would wait and wait until he wanted to see me. And then sometimes it was just to listen to some music that he was proud of and he wanted me to hear. Becker said, okay, thank you. Timing wise, are we talking 10 o'clock at night? Sometimes you go there. The doctor said, I would unlikely get there at 10 o'clock. I may be there until 10. If it was much longer, I would leave because I go to bed by 9 o'clock p.m. usually. Becker said, okay. When you were there in the evening hours, where were you? Were you aware of any? Becker said, strike that. There are people that are working there with Mr. Kelly at the time when you were there. Is that fair to say? The doctor said yes. Becker said, okay. He wasn't usually there by himself. True? The doctor said yes. If y'all could please, we got 91 people in here. If y'all could please hit the like button for me. I got 63 likes. I have 8 dislikes and I have 91 in the chat. If you could please help me out a little bit, I'd appreciate it. Thanks for the dislike. Appreciate it. The witness said, yes, that's fair to say that other people was working there. The lawyer said, okay. So he wasn't usually there by himself, true? The doctor said yes. The lawyer said, okay, he had engineers and so forth that were there also, correct? The doctor said yes. And then Becker said, and you've met some of them, is that correct? The doctor said yes. Becker said, all right. And when you had the chance to finally speak with Mr. Kelly, it wasn't like he continued to work after you left. Is that fair to say? Objection! The court said sustained. Becker said, when you would go, oftentimes. I think you said there's different times where you'd go to his house. Is that true? The doctor said yes. And then the Becker said, and in fact, you go, I believe you indicated sometimes for parties. Is that true? The doctor said, yes. The lawyer said, you also went for, there was a time where Mr. Kelly's daughter's dog passed away, and he had a funeral for that dog. Do you remember being there for that? The doctor said, I remember being there for the dog funeral. Becker said, and there was a lot of people there for that. Is that correct? The doctor said, how do you define a lot? Becker said, okay, the house that he lived in there, was it how many square feet? And just a guesstimate, would you say it is? The doctor said, I would not know how many square feet is in the house. Becker said, okay. And the doctor said, I'm not aware of the square feet in the house at all. I couldn't tell you the square feet here. I couldn't tell you the square feet here. Becker said, well, if we pretend that this is a house, the courtroom that we're in right now, would you say that Mr. Kelly's home was about this size? Mr. Heater said, objection, Your Honor. The court said, I don't understand the relevance. Let's move on to something else. Becker said, would you go to the parties at Mr. Kelly's house? There was there was music playing, I assume, right? The doctor said there was often music playing. Becca said, okay. DJ a lot of times as well. Becca said, occasionally, yes, a DJ. I'm sorry. The witness, the doctor said, occasionally, yes, a DJ. Becca said, loud music. The doctor said, I don't know the volume or the decibels. I'm sorry. I can't be sure of that. Then she said, okay. So, had you ever had to leave because you were like, the music is too loud? I got to get out of here. Objection! Court said sustained. Ms. Becker said, when you went to his house, or whatever reason, for whatever reason it was, either for work medically or social gatherings, do you remember ever seeing any underage girls? Objection! The court said, I feel like we went over this already. Do you remember seeing anybody? The witness said, no, I don't remember seeing what I would consider underage girls. Blank Becca said, is this at the house? This is at the house, correct? The doctor said, at the house. Becca said, yes, thank you. Would you go, whether at the house or to the studio? Did you go and like in your doctor's coat that often sometimes we see when we envision a doctor wearing when they treat their patients? The doctor said, no. Miss Becca, Becca said, no. You would never go to his home and treat other people at his house, correct? The doctor said, no. So the lawyer said, and you certainly wouldn't do, you wouldn't have one of his guests sitting there, and you wouldn't be doing a genealogical exam at his home of one of his female guests. Is that correct? The doctor said, that's correct. The Becker said, that sounds preposterous, correct? The government said, objection. The court said, sustained. Then the lawyer said, you indicated earlier that the who part is not your job. That the who part is not your job, right? Who else? Or who else he was having sex with, correct? The witness said, clarify the question for me, please. That's the doctor. Becca said, look, I'm sorry. What is the specific question? Okay, the witness said, what is the specific question for me? Then Becca said, you said earlier that we can't determine who based on whatever information that you have with Mr. Kelly. You have no idea who gave that to him, correct? The doctor said, correct. Becca said, you spoke. This isn't the first time that you had to testify about this. Is that correct? And the doctor said, how do you define testify? Hold on, y'all. Okay, y'all. I think Diva just went live. So let's go over there and support her. I don't know if she know where I stopped at, but I'm at page 455. So let's go over to Diva's channel and support her, okay? I'm going to get off of here and let her get on the read some. All right, y'all. I'll holler at y'all later. What's up, honey? Huh? Okay.